everyone, my name is Iris France. Today we're going to talk about the meaning of a current account deficit or surplus. So to understand why the United States has such a high, big current account deficit, you really need to first understand that foreigners, especially foreign investors, they typically treat the United States as a safety harbor for investment. So they think it is safe to put their money in the United States. And therefore, controlling the same risk level, in general, foreigners prefer to invest in the United States more than residents in the United States like to invest in a foreign country. And therefore, the firms in the United States is always able to borrow at a way lower cost, a way lower interest rate than foreigners borrowing from the United States. So you can imagine that if foreigners treat American firms or American country like a safety harbor, then they would like to invest in our country, in our firms. And to invest in our country, they will have to first buy the US dollars with the foreign currency they have. And think about this, if a lot of foreign countries are buying United States dollars, then that is going to cause the dollar to become strong. Think about this, the demand for dollar is strong, so the dollar is going to become strong. And when we have a strong dollar, we know that a strong dollar is going to encourage us to buy more foreign goods. Because think about this, when the dollar is strong, that means we can use $1 to buy a lot of foreign currencies. And therefore, the foreign goods will become really cheap for us. And therefore, that is going to encourage imports. And at the same time, it's going to discourage export. And therefore, that is going to cause our current account deficit to become worsened. It's going to aggravate current account deficit. So it really started as other countries treat US as a safety harbor. They want to invest in our country and they buy our dollar, causing our dollar to become really strong, and that will worsen our current account deficit. So our current account deficit really was just the lowest at financial crisis between year 2008, 2009, 2010 maybe. And that's when we had the economic downturn. That's the only time because the import goes down because we, US residents, at financial crisis, we couldn't afford to buy foreign goods, and therefore import went down. And if you use that kind of way to fix our current account deficit, who wants that? Nobody. And finally, I want to talk about debt. Is debt a bad thing? Well, think about this. The debt of a country is very similar to debt of a person. And if you're borrowing to buy a new house and you're going to live in that house, typically no one will say that as a bad debt. Or if you're borrowing for a student loan and you are going to go to college using that student loan, that's also not a bad debt because you will think about that as an investment in your human capital. After you get your college degree, you are going to have a better job and you'll be able to pay the student loan. So that's not a bad debt. However, if you're borrowing for consumption, say if you're borrowing for vacation, if you're borrowing for a wedding, then basically you just burn the cash, then that's it. So that's borrowing for consumption and that's a bad debt. So for country, it's the same thing. If you're borrowing for investment in this country, that's not a terrible thing. But if you're borrowing for consumption, that's not so good. So that's the idea of meaning of current account deficit. I hope this helps and I'll see you next time.